We currently have $3.8 billion that we could spend on just about anything that we want. And as of right now, we're making about $1.5 billion every single month. So I don't think that money's going anywhere fast. But what is going fast is the number of people in and out of London and the number of places in the world that want a connection to London as well. So this is kind of where I want to get started today. All those red lines coming into London are different cities around the world that want to go here. And I think what I'd like to do is try my best to connect quite a few of the destinations in the United States to London, simply because I do want to get a foothold over here. We don't really have one just yet, although we are sort of working on New York. I don't really know if it's going to go too well because realistically, we're not running that many flights and I don't really think it's making that much money, which is unfortunate. There are people that want to go to Tijuana from here, but again, I don't really think that's going to happen. My Dublin to Detroit via New York line isn't making money. My Belfast to Montreal via New York line also isn't making money. So we might want to just sort of explore different options for this. And I think realistically, the best thing to do might just be to get rid of my sort of silly lines that go through New York. I hate to do this. I was really excited about this idea, but I could use the extra money because we are going to be connecting a bunch of places to London. That's kind of the idea. There are a decent few places over in California, for example, that we can connect to London. We do have connections to San Francisco already, which is admittedly fantastic news, and it's a relatively profitable line. So much so that I wonder, this plane it's not actually full, which is kind of surprising. I was thinking it might be. This one as well, also not full, both making money, but neither of them full, which I was hoping again, I was kind of hoping they would be. We do have demand for Eureka wanting to go to London, though. There's only 7 people, so I'm probably not going to do much with that. We do have Elk Grove wanting to go to London. Again, sort of 7 people. Fresno to London is 7 people, which again, a little bit disappointing. We've got Bakersfield to London, 7 people, a little bit disappointing. I was hoping to do more than this than it seems like I'm going to be able to do here, because there's not that many people that want to go to London from each of these individual places. And the problem with that is going to be that any plane I connect, actually this one here in Prescott might not be the worst idea in the world. I think that's maybe where we're going to get started is Prescott to London, just simply because there's more people here than any of the other destinations. So we'll give this a shot. We'll go for a bit of a bigger plane, maybe something like this guy. 420 passengers is probably reasonable. We'll give that a shot. We'll create that line. I'm curious to see. Yeah, I didn't suspect it was gonna. Oh, actually, no, hold on a minute. That's not bad. That's actually a decent number of people on board. I can totally get behind that. And that absolutely works for me. And it gives us a connection that we didn't previously have. Now, looking at the rest of these, we have one way up this way. And that is going to be our demand from Eureka, which again, I think we're going to avoid just because there's not that many people that want to go from Eureka to London. We do have Midland here, which is going to be 7 people. We have Abilene, which is going to be probably 7 people again. Yeah, absolutely 7 people. We have Fayetteville, which is 7 people. This is getting a little bit annoying now. I was really hoping for more of this. We have Hannibal, which is probably 7 people. That's fine. That's okay. We can we can figure this out. We have Green Bay, which is also 7 people. Maybe my plan to connect the United States to London is going to be slightly trickier. Let's explore some options. We do have a place really close to Mexico City here, which wants to go to London. It has 17 people and that connection to Mexico City, which I reckon is probably going to make it worthwhile. So let's get this connection in here as well. We'll flip these around so that London is the hub. We will use the Stratus 420 again and create that route. Not expecting, oh no, that's actually okay. Oh wow, that's a lot busier than I was expecting. That's That's actually very good news for me. That works out kind of perfectly. And you know, I think maybe we connect some other places to London just while we're here, because we do have some options. Madrid, for example, has demand for London. I'm not really sure what the demand is. I'm sure it's close to the bottom. It's 25 people. That's actually doable, and that gives us a connection to Spain. I don't know if we have much of a connection to Spain at the moment, but we're gonna get one. And I think we'll go for a slightly smaller plane on this just to make sure that we actually manage to fill the thing, which we very nearly have. In fact, we have on that first flight, which is kind of amazing. So I can totally get behind this. That gives us that connection to Madrid that we were looking for, and that Madrid was looking for as well. And I think maybe we go ahead and put a bigger plane on this. In fact, I think the game might have already put a bigger plane on this. It's kind of hard to tell. If we look at Madrid and look at our connections, are we in here at all? We're not. Has it just gotten rid of my Madrid connection? Has it just done the thing that it always does? If we look at London here, do we have London to Madrid anywhere? It doesn't look like we do, which is really annoying. It's really, really annoying that it does that, but it's okay. We can go ahead and do it again. I'm sure we get the money back, which is totally fine. I'm going to go for the bigger plane. I think this time we'll go, I don't know, did we go for a 420 last time? I don't remember. We'll go for the 420 this time and get that thing in here. I am assuming it might get a little busier on the way back. I'm hoping it gets a little busier on the way back. I would really like to see that plane. Oh, wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to get full on the way back, but I can totally work with that. Now, we do have Pikeville in the United States with 60 people wanting to go to London. I think I can work with that. This place is very much a fan of this other company. That's not that big of a concern to me because it's not a super high level and there's not that much going on. So I think this connection to London might be quite good for us. We do have a slightly smaller plane that I think is going to be perfect for it. So we'll create this. It is up there in terms of the number of passengers, which is always going to be a good thing as far as I'm concerned. And the plane should be taking off any second. That's not Pikeville. Where's Pikeville? Where's this plane again? There it is. So it's heading out. It's doing its thing. That is hopefully going to make this place that little bit happier with me. And it certainly has. I just need it to be a lot happier with me. Ooh, they want a New York connection as well. Oh, now hold on a second. Hold on a second. I wonder. Okay. I wonder. If I was to do Pikeville to New York, that's a decent length. It's 500 miles. That seems like the type of flight that would happen in the United States. Then to London. Now, London kind of needs to be... London sort of needs to be the hub for this. This makes me wonder if we should get rid of that other Pikeville line. And I'm slightly tempted to do it, but I think having a second line here is going to be fine. I'm going to go for a slightly larger plane and we'll create this line. My hope here is that these guys in Pikeville that want to go to New York and they are going to use this plane, which is perfect. This might be how I get myself just a little something. In fact, that's a flight to New York from London right now. So that's going to make them kind of happy. Pikeville's probably going to be a little bit happier with me as well. And hopefully that's a line that gets New York to be, well, happy with me. Hopefully that makes them trust me. And then again, my goal, as I've said, is to buy out New York and use it as a base for my operations in the United States. That's the goal. Hopefully it works. No idea if it will, but we're going to try. Now, I will say there is another interesting thing we could do here. Since we're looking at Pikeville, they have a lot of people wanting to go to LA and there are indirect paths for that right now. I'm thinking we do a Pikeville to LA flight right here. And then I think we go ahead and connect London or maybe Dublin just to change things up a little bit. We'll do Dublin just to be different. I think we put Dublin at the start of that. We go from Dublin to Pikeville, Pikeville to LA, and that's going to let people move from here to LA, which they maybe couldn't do previously. In terms of capacity, I think we go for the 900-350, which is a decent enough plane. I don't know if we need 351 seats on the plane, but it looks like it's, well, it's full, which is good. I've got no idea how many of those people are going to be getting off the plane in Pikeville, which means that those 90 people wanting to go to LA might not be able to do that. And that's kind of slightly problematic, but we'll figure that out. Hopefully I get myself a little base of operations here in the United States at some point, and hopefully this all isn't a problem anymore. Hopefully I can do more direct flights from different places rather than this sort of roundabout way of doing things. And wouldn't you know, absolutely no one got off that plane. None. Not one. That is not good. So we're going to clone that. We're going to put another plane on that line, which has also filled up, which is slightly problematic. That's not great. Oh my God. Wow. My trust has just shot up here. Something fierce. Okay. Don't mind if I do. Oh, now we're making progress. Now we're making progress. If we can take this place over, I will be so happy. I would like to have a little bit of a look at New York and see how well we're not doing great up there. This place though, right here in Pikeville, this might be it. This might be how I get my foot in the door. I'm really hoping it is. It's shifting a little bit. We're at 44%. We need 55 to make this happen. I think it's also worth pointing out that people here in Pikeville want to go to both Columbus and Detroit. Now, there are direct paths that sort of do that. I'm kind of wondering if it would be worth me flying a plane from Dublin to Pikeville to Detroit. That seems reckless, but I'm very tempted to do it solely to get that trust, which is now going down. My trust is down to 32%. So it would be kind of cool if we could build that back up. I think it'd be really, really good. We do have a plane coming in here though. It is, oh, it did knock the trust up a little bit. Back to 35. Okay, let's try this Dublin to Detroit thing. I'm going to close London for now. We'll do Dublin to, I guess, Pikeville to Detroit, because again, there's a good number of people who want to make that trip. We'll use a slightly smaller plane just because well, no, there's 90 people already waiting. Let's use the Skydancer 918295. That seems like a fair bet. And I'm assuming it's going to almost fill up in Dublin, which is good. That's kind of what we're looking for. Oh, we're so close. We're at 53%. Now, what I'm thinking we could do here, since we have a lot of people wanting to go to Columbus as well, is we can maybe run another flight. Now, this is getting a little silly. This is getting a little reckless, but I'm thinking Dublin. I am thinking once again to Pikeville and then up to Columbus. I think we go for a smaller plane just to make sure we don't overdo it. The plane is gonna, well, fill up, which is interesting. But my thinking here is that if this works out, we're at 54%. We need 1% more to take this place over. If this works out, this should mean I can buy this place out and I can set up more direct route. Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. This is what we're doing. We're buying it out. We're taking over Pikeville. We are, what is this? A hotel? I don't care about a hotel. We're demolishing a hotel. I want to build a support center because that's going to give me higher trust in the United States. I'm going to upgrade Pikeville to level 10. And I'm not going to do a hub manager just yet because I don't think we need to. Now, Pikeville is going to be my, like I said, it's going to be my base of operations in the United States. But what we can do now is we have London to New York to Pikeville. I'm going to get rid of those vehicles. We're going to sort of do that to everything in here. So we have the Dublin to Pikeville to LA. That's going to go as well. We have Dublin to Pikeville to Columbus. That's going to go away. We have Pikeville to London direct. That can stay because it's not doing particularly well for us. And I'm okay with that because I think that'll change. At least I'm relatively sure that'll change. Now, Pikeville to Columbus is not a long journey. That's kind of thing number one that I would like to deal with here. So we're going to go from Pikeville to maybe, well, let's see here. Does Lexington have any demand? Cincinnati, Dayton? Do you guys want to go anywhere in particular? There are people from Columbus that want to go to Lexington. My thinking was I could run a train sort of up and around here and connect some of these guys together, but there's not that much overlap in destinations here. So maybe we keep it simple. We're going to go Pikeville to Columbus. We have a train line that already exists here, so we'll use a train. We're going to use a big train to make this happen, and we'll create that route. It instantly fills up, which is amazing, and that's going to deal with quite a bit of demand. So much so that I'm going to put another train on this just to make sure that everyone from Pikeville to Columbus is getting dealt with. So then we have Pikeville to Greenville, which is down here. We also have Asheville in between, which wants to go to Greensboro. It has people wanting to go from Columbia. We've got Chattanooga over here as well. Okay. Let's do another train. Pikeville to Asheville to Greenville, maybe down to Columbia. That could be kind of interesting, just as a little thing that we have going on. We could go down to North Charleston as well, just to get that coastal connection, or down through Sumter and then to Myrtle Beach. I think we'll keep it simple and just do a nice big train. We'll build these tracks, and that should be fine. Since it's going through Augusta, I think we throw that in there as well, and that should be all right. It's a relatively long journey, but it's going to get people moving around. Train filled up pretty much instantly as well, which is what we're looking for. We can go ahead and throw maybe another... Oh, that vehicle's out of stock. That's not exactly ideal. Can I buy one of these guys instead? Yeah. So that'll let people sort of move around here, which is great. Now for Detroit, Toronto, and New York, and LA, and London is already being dealt with, but we're not dealing with the rest of them. We also have Tijuana in here as well. There's 45 people per month that want to go to Tijuana. That is being dealt with by another company. I think I would like to deal with that myself. So down to Tijuana. 45 people tells me we don't need that much, well, that huge of a plane. So I think the Stratus 132 is going to be perfectly fine. And it is full on its first flight, which is amazing. We need a Detroit connection here as well, which arguably could just be a train, but it's going to be a plane because I think that's going to be a little better for us. And I think in this case, we'll use the 822-135, and it is not filling up instantly, which is honestly okay. I wasn't really sure if it would. I'm sure it'll get there. That's, I'm assuming, a relatively busy connection, and it looks like it's doing okay. That plane needs 20 people on board to be profitable, so it's not the end of the world if it's not instantly hugely profitable. As long as it's making a little bit of money, I'm relatively happy with it. So that gives us the Detroit connection. Toronto is 45 people wanting to go up that way as well. I think we're going to just make that connection, even though we have a lot of people going to Toronto from Ireland and the UK. I think this will be good. Like I said, this city, Pikeville, is going to be my hub in the United States to connect out to absolutely everywhere else. That is the goal here. And the same is going to apply. You know, we have demand for New York. There's 45 people wanting to go up there, and we do want to get ourselves a little bit of favor, a little bit of trust in New York. So we'll get that going. We'll use, let's use the Stratus 132 for this one, just because we can. I'm not expecting huge things out of this line. I'm kind of thinking it's going to take a little while before all of these become profitable, but I'm hoping for good things. We obviously have the LA connection as well. We have London, we have Warsaw, we have indirect ways to get there. I think LA is going to sort of be our last little connection right here. So Pikeville to LA, which is right, that's not LA, right up here, I think, somewhere this way, vaguely. Yeah, right there. I know my geography. I'm good at geography. Let's use a slightly larger plane for this one, just because LA is kind of a hub for a whole lot of things, and I would hope that eventually that line becomes particularly busy. Oh, now this is interesting. So we have a larger plane now flying from London to Pikeville, and it has 2 people on board on its way back to Pikeville. So I think what might be an idea here is to go ahead and upgrade Pikeville with, oh, do I want a marketing agency or do I want a hotel? Now, a hotel will increase the indirect capacity in a city and also boost my trust in the city. But I feel like we should be dealing with the indirect capacity problem, because if we build a marketing agency and then we upgrade it, it gives us way more passengers. It doubles the number of passengers in Pikeville. And I think that could be good. I'm also thinking it might be a good idea to just automate Pikeville as well. So we're going to expand the city. I'm going to give them like $500 million and just see what they spend it on, because I have no idea what they're going to try and spend it on. I will get that money back if they don't spend it. But my theory here, I mean, there's a lot of lines in here that are losing money. Pikeville to LA is losing money. Pikeville to London is losing money. Pikeville to New York is losing money. I'm hoping that a hub manager can maybe turn this around a little bit, because the goal, like I said, is for this place to be my base of operations in the United States, which, I mean, mission accomplished. We're here, which is great. New York, I mean, they don't want anything to do with me. Although there is, oh, Dublin to are we not doing Dublin to New York already? We're doing Pikeville to New York. Do we not have a Dublin to New York line? I could swear that we did, because there is a little bit of demand for that now. Do these guys in Dublin want to go to New York right now? Do we have a Dublin to New York? I wish I could search this, but it doesn't seem like we do, which is fine. So let's create a relatively minor Dublin to New York line. We'll go for the Stratus 132 and create that route. There is no one in Dublin wanting to go to New York right now. Oh no, there's one. That would be a fun flight. That's always been like a dream of mine, to be the only passenger on a flight. I feel like it would be so much fun. I would have such a good, I would have the best sleep of my life in that particular situation. I feel I would probably have the best sleep of my life in that particular situation. Anyway, where is, I've lost Pikeville. I don't actually know where it is. It's vaguely, where are we? There's Detroit, which means Pikeville is down here. Okay. So how are we looking? We've spent some of the expand city money, which is good. We have some trains going around, which is also potentially good. Hopefully it works out. I'd like to get a foothold in a decently sized city at some point as well. I think getting a foothold in like I said, you know, New York would be great, but I'll take Detroit as well. At this point, I'll even go into Canada. I'll take Toronto, but that one might be tricky. They've got 99% trust up there. Oh, now this is interesting. We could take over Greenville if we wanted to, and I think I do. I think I'm going to sort of stick with my idea of expanding cities with hub managers just to get a really solid foothold in the United States. So we now have a connection from Greenville to Jacksonville, which is hopefully going to make money. And we have a bus from Greenville to Knoxville, which is also hopefully going to make money. That train down to Jacksonville is relatively full as well, which I definitely appreciate. It would be cool if it stopped at a few of the places in between, but I guess the demand right now isn't to do that. It is to specifically go to Jacksonville or somewhere nearby at the very least. I'm not really sure why we have that line, but we have that line and that's fine by me. We're not going to be making any major upgrades to this place because we're going to need level 5 before we can get this first one, which might guarantee trust in Greenville, but I think we'll be all right. Pikeville is doing just fine. We still have some planes in here that are just not making money, which is kind of dire. If we have a look at my vehicles across the board, we have a lot that are just not really making money anymore, but we're making so much money elsewhere. We have over $1 million from the London to Newcastle bus line, but really that's not where my money's coming from. If we look in here, my worst train line is Pikeville to Columbus. It is 4% efficient. My best is, hold on a minute. I have a train. What is, hold on a minute. So this goes from London all the way across Russia to China? That's a thing that we're doing? And it's profitable? Hold on a minute. I mean, I know it's the hub manager that's done this, but surely a plane would have been better. Like really, surely a plane would have made so much more sense here, right? That's absolutely insane. A plane, oh my God, there is a plane that's doing 200 million. Okay. So yes, a plane does in fact make a bit more sense on that one. That's fair enough. You know what? Continue. You do you. You keep doing what you're doing. The game's doing what it does. The game's doing just fine. Speaking of planes, though, my worst performing plane is Pikeville to London, minus 20 million. My best is London to Tijuana, plus 237 million. So you win some, you lose some, is how I'm choosing to look at that right now. London to Chihuahua is not doing good. London to Prescott's not doing good. Pikeville to LA isn't doing good. Maybe it would just be worth getting rid of some. I mean, we're making enough money, right? We're doing like 5.4 billion per month. I think we're fine. We are the company with the highest operating profit. We are the third most valuable company in the world right now. And we're not that far away from taking over Russia Transit Company either. So we're doing all right. Iberian Fleet might be more of a challenge, but I think we're doing okay. Now, coming back to Pikeville, I'm actually going to get rid of the hotel or the marketing agency, and I'm going to build a hotel because I want to deal with the problems that we're having in here with the whole not enough people or not enough space thing. I want to make sure the place isn't overloaded, so it's actually kind of pleasant for people to go through. That, I think, kind of makes sense, and I think that'll be okay. I don't love that we are just losing a ton of money here, but it is my central hub in the United States, and I can work with that. Greenville is doing just fine as well. Knoxville is... I can get a hub up in Knoxville. And then Atlanta is not that far away. And getting Atlanta would be kind of huge too. Oh, yeah, we're doing Knoxville is what we're doing. We're getting ourselves a hub in Knoxville. We're just gonna hub manage this place as well, because I think that's kind of the easiest way to do it. We'll put some upgrades in here, and that immediately gives us a bus from Knoxville to Atlanta and a flight from Knoxville down to Athens, which, as far as I'm concerned, that could just be connected to a road. I want to say that's a thing we could do. Like, just run it down there, create that. That seems fine. Maybe from here to Atlanta as well. We'll create that just so we have the connection. Knoxville to Atlanta by bus could have also gone through Chattanooga, but we'll not worry too much about it. I think we'll be fine. This will upgrade if it needs to. That's generally what the hub managers do, right? Wait, what is that? Is that another plane to Athens? That is another plane to Athens. Why so many planes? You know what? Again, we're gonna trust the process is what we're gonna do. If I could take over Athens, which I kind of think I absolutely can. Oh, we're getting very close to Atlanta here, and I like this. I do. I like the game we're playing here. I really do. Very big fan of the idea of getting into Atlanta and taking this over. It's gonna take a while. We gotta get people up to like Philadelphia, for example, which is a bit of a ways away. Although we could fly from Pikeville to Atlanta to Philadelphia and do a little oh, am I gonna be so cheeky? I think I am. We're gonna try this is what we're gonna do. So Pikeville to Atlanta to Philadelphia. It'll be a cyclic route, so then you go Philly to Pikeville, and I think a little plane on this will be good. I think we use the Skydancer 822. We'll see how this goes. I'm not expecting, oh, there's a decent number of passengers in there. We need 35 to be at minimum efficiency coming out of Pikeville, which we are just shy of. Atlanta is much better, going up to Philadelphia. And then hopefully coming out of Philadelphia, we have a decent number of people wanting to go to Pikeville, which we also absolutely do. Oh, this might work. This might give me Atlanta. If we could get Atlanta, that would be kind of incredible. We have a lot of demand for Atlanta to Columbus as well. So, I mean, I have Greenville, right? What if I did Greenville to Atlanta to Columbus by way of a train, and we just sort of move people that way? Because there's not that many that want to go from Greenville to Atlanta, but there's a lot that want to go from Atlanta to Columbus. And moving people locally is how you build trust in a city. That is, if you move people from Atlanta to wherever they want to go, that is going to make those people a lot happier with you. So now we're moving people out to Columbus. We're moving people up to Philadelphia. This is good. It might not be enough to get me Atlanta, but if I could move my central hub from Pikeville to Atlanta, Atlanta is kind of the place to be when it comes to central hubs for air travel in the United States. I think, Atlanta's airport is one of the busiest in like the world, I think. I don't think it's not the busiest in the United States. I think that's still LAX. I think. I don't know enough about airports. I just know that Atlanta in particular is very, very busy. And having been there, also huge. Okay, so I want to come back to London for a moment and connect more places to London, because that is a thing that we can do. So there's a lot of red lines coming in here. One is even coming down from York. So let's do a little run from York to London. We'll do a train for this one. We'll use a nice expensive train and we'll create that route and hope for the best with that one. That was remarkably quick is what that was. Let's put another train on there and it filled up as well. That's also remarkably quick. And I guess we'll put another train on there and it also happened to fill up. At the very least, that's hopefully going to generate a ton of money and also get a lot of people into London, which is kind of what we're looking for. Now we have a lot of places that want to go here. We have Bergen up this way. So let's do London to Bergen as a thing. What is the demand? It's going to be 7 right now. That's really not much. So we'll do a little plane. We can do an actual little plane for this as well, which I'm completely fine with. It did fill up pretty much instantly, which isn't exactly ideal. It also feels weird going back to such a small plane after dealing with everything else that we've been dealing with so far. So let me just, I don't know what I want to go up to. Maybe this guy, the Clipper, 78 passengers. We'll replace. It filled up, which is fine by me. Is it going to fill up when it gets back down to London is the question. The game runs at an absolute crawl at this stage, by the way. If I speed things up to 3 times speed, which we are on right now, it is a relatively busy plane on the way back, but I think I'm okay with that. We are moving people from Bergen to London, and that's kind of what we were looking for. We have Tartu in Estonia. Pronunciation's not gonna be my strong suit here. They want to go to London as well, so we'll get that going. I think we'll use the Clipper as well, just because I think that probably makes the most sense and is going to let people get here from Estonia, which I'm completely fine with. Is there anywhere that's super far away that wants to go to London right now? What have we got down here? I don't know. Muscat down in, where is that? Oman? I mean, that's far away. That's very far away. How many people here want to go to London right now? Quite a lot, actually. And a lot that want to go to Paris too. Interesting. Okay. Let's get this going. I would assume this is going to be a really busy flight. So I think we're going to take a chance. We're going to go with the Stratus 575 on this one, which is over $500 million. And it is full, which is kind of incredible. That was a little bit unexpected. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting it to fill up on the first journey. I think once it gets to 50% of the way there, we can go ahead and clone it. We'll put another one on that line and see if it fills up as well. If it does, that's kind of ridiculous, is what that is. So let's, what's that, 50%? Let's clone it. I said let's clone it. And it is also almost full. That is all sorts of ridiculous, is what that is. Wait a minute. I cloned it twice. Hold on a minute. I didn't mean to put, wait, I've got 2. Yeah, I've got 2 of them coming back. Oh my God. Wait, what's this one then? Is this one full? It's getting there. It needs how many passengers to be minimum? Okay, so 200. As long as we have 200 passengers in each of these flights, we're doing fine. And looking at the numbers, they are doing fine. Oh my God. That is so much money. That's kind of wild. What else have we got going on? We have somewhere all the way down here. We have Yola, which has how much demand? 60 people? Sure. I'll make that happen. That's no problem. We'll bring that up to London as well and get people going through. Flip this around a little bit. We'll use a slightly smaller plane just because I don't think we need to use the Cloud Surfer Stratus 575. Maybe this guy would be the one to go for. I don't suspect it's going to fill up in London, although it's actually doing okay. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. That's a little bit unexpected. I'm very much okay with that. We also have demand from, what is this? This is quite far away looking. Oh, I'm not even, come on. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. A lot of people for Paris, not very many for London, so I'm not really too interested in that. They were, you know, we probably would have people from Paris, or people from there going to Paris, but I think we'll pass on that. We have Hyderabad. How are we looking for London flights? How many people? 120. Yeah, I can do that. I can absolutely do that. That's going to be another massive international flight going into London. We can use, let's use the 945-550, slightly smaller than the other one that we had going. So far, absolutely nobody in London wanting to go down to Hyderabad, as far as I can tell, which is slightly concerning. I'm not gonna lie. I don't love that, but I'm hoping that on the way back, people get word of that line existing and they're like, oh, guess where we're going? Hyderabad. Now, interestingly, coming back down here to Australia, where we haven't been today, we have a little something going on with Sydney to New Zealand. We have people wanting to go out to Wellington, which is very exciting. I think we're going to get ourselves a foothold in New Zealand. I think it's about time that we get Wellington. I think we're going to get Auckland as well. And I think we're going to put some money into Auckland. I think we're going to put some money into Wellington as well. I think we grab Christchurch here as well, just for a little hub down this way. We'll put some money into that as well. And I'm very tempted to just, I mean, look, Wellington wants to go down to a few different places. We could do planes for a lot of this. I'm kind of inclined to say that for Wellington's connections, at the very least, we could do, maybe not that exactly, but from here to there, I really don't want to go straight across the water. I think we can kind of do something like this. I don't know. I want to go to New Zealand so much. I've always, like, New Zealand is on my bucket list of countries that I really want to go to. I don't know if it's like, hey, you just drive across New Zealand, or if it, I know like if this is flying in boats here, but we'll get a little road going right there. And I want to say we can sort of do the same down this way, because I know if I put a hub manager on this, it's going to be a lot of planes and a lot of boats, and I'm okay with planes and boats. It's not the end of the world, but I do feel like buses would be fine along this coast. I think we can do something like this. In fact, let me, that road is hideous. Can I redo that? Can I just like remove that part and then maybe remove, I don't want to remove all of it, but I want to get rid of the parts that are a little bit ugly. That looks a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And then I think what we'll do, oh, interesting. Okay, we're getting some interesting bits of demand here. Christchurch wants to go to Wellington, and down here, what is that? Dunedin? I have no idea. No idea. We're going to do a hub manager for Christchurch. We'll give them 100 million, and that gives us flights in both directions, which is fine. That's totally fine. Wellington is going to be, I think, a similar story. We're going to do a hub manager, expand, and we'll give them 200, maybe 300, let's say 400 million. And that gives us a bunch of planes going back and forth, which is completely fine by me. Not super worried about that. Auckland, I want to say similar story, just a bunch of money and just let them sort of do their thing. Hamilton, you know what? I'm just going to do it for all of New Zealand is going to be a project. New Zealand is going to be not a project, an experiment to see what happens if I didn't want to go to level 10, but that'll do. To see what happens if I just automate a country. That's kind of where we're at here. We're just going to automate this entire thing and see what it does and how it handles being fully automated. We're just going to let the game do what it wants to do with New Zealand, and I'm fine with that. So all of this is now connected together. We have demand coming up from, where the hell is this? What? What? Hold on. What? Okay, that's kind of incredible. I didn't know this was down here, but that's like the coolest thing. Okay, I'm getting a hub down this way, and I'm gonna automate it as well. Because I'm gonna forget it's here, man. If I don't, the boats seem a little silly, but sure, we'll go for some boats down here up to New Zealand. That seems fun. We got some buses going around here. We have some planes going here. We have all these different connections around here, which is fine. As long as they have money, they'll be all right. Obviously, we have some boats going from Brisbane and Sydney over to New Zealand as well. What length is that journey? It is long. It's 1,700. It's a 1,700 mile round trip. Oh, no, it's not. That's one direction. It is 3,478 miles as a round trip on a boat. That seems silly to me. So we're going to get rid of that is what we're going to do. And then Brisbane to Wellington has a lot of people that want to go there. Like a lot of people that want to go there. So we're going to do a plane, like a sensible option. We're going to do a plane. We'll go for, I don't know, we'll go for this guy. We'll create the route. It is remarkably busy, which is great. And then the Sydney route is going to be similar. How many people want to go from Sydney to Wellington? A decent number. Quite a lot that want to go from Sydney to the Sunshine Coast too. Does Sydney not have money? It doesn't. Okay. Let's do a marketing agency so more people go in and out of Sydney. Let's give Sydney a ton of money so that it can get the connections that it wants to get. That's more money than it needs. And let's also go ahead and get rid of the Sydney to Wellington line, because that's a bunch of boats and seems a little bit silly. And we will do a Sydney to Wellington flight, because I think that makes a bit more sense. So we'll create that. It is relatively busy, which is great news as far as I'm concerned. And looking at Sydney, it has presumably expanded a bunch of its capacity in here to actually get to the places that it now wants to go to, right? Yeah, a lot of small planes, but that's totally fine. Okay, so I want to say that Wellington is doing just fine. I think New Zealand in general is doing just fine. We have planes coming down from Australia, which is perfectly fine as well. We have planes sort of crossing Australia, which is great. Perth over here has a lot of demand for a lot of places and is not fulfilling it. So I want to say it just doesn't have money. So I'm going to give it a ton of money is what I'm going to do. We're going to give Perth like $1 billion and just see what it does with it. Because I'm really curious to see. It spent it on a pretty big plane, which is going somewhere or other, which is fine. It hasn't really spent much else, which is curious. There's a lot of demand to Albany, which doesn't have a route right now. Esperance doesn't have a route either. So let me set those up myself, I suppose, and we'll use some slightly smaller planes just because I think that makes the most sense. That one, for example, is actually filling up, which is really interesting. We'll do this one as well, just to get people over to Esperance and see how that goes. We could probably look at connecting these places together because they have demand to go places as well, but I'll leave them be for now because I kind of want to go back and look at the state of the United States at the moment, because I'm kind of hoping I can take over Atlanta, and we are getting closer. We're up to 36%, 35% trust in Atlanta, which is amazing. I do have hubs in other towns as well. So Columbus, for example, has some hubs in here. I'm going to give them a ton of money just to make sure that we can keep doing what we're doing in here and make sure that Columbus stays mine. Athens, similar story. We're going to give them a bunch of money. Greenville, similar story. They're kind of broke right now. We'll give them a ton of money just to make sure that they stay okay. We have Augusta down here, which is also mine. We'll give them a ton of money just to make sure that they're all right. We have Asheville is not mine. Charlotte isn't mine. Knoxville is. And Knoxville's not doing too great in terms of cash either. Although Knoxville, I'm going to put a support center in here because that gives me more trust in the country, which is kind of what we're looking for. That's going to make my life a little bit easier in the long run. Pikeville is doing fine in terms of money. I'm going to give them a bit more. Yeah, because I thought they might do that. They like spending money on big planes. Is what they like doing. So that's fine by me. As long as Pikeville's making money, I don't really mind. And also, interestingly, we have a good amount of trust in Philadelphia. We are at 45%. If we can continue to build support centers in different towns around the US and just boost our percentage of trust across the country, we will eventually get our hands on Philadelphia, which would be amazing. All we need to do is get places like Athens and Columbus up to level 5. If we can do that, then I can build support centers. We have one in Knoxville. Asheville is not mine. Pikeville already has its 2 possible upgrades, so we're not really too worried about that one. Birmingham is unfortunately not mine. Albany could be. Interestingly, this place could be as well. I think, you know what? We are going to get somewhere in here. And I've been doing this across the board. I'm just doing hub managers for a lot of these projects because the goal is to move people in and out of Atlanta. So anywhere that kind of has demand for Atlanta or anywhere that I can put a hub manager that's going to work towards the goal of taking over Atlanta, that's essentially what we're doing, is just trying to take over all of this so that I can get those upgrades, I can get that trust, and I can get my hands on Atlanta. Or at this point, I would take Philadelphia as well. I'm not going to lie. I would take Philadelphia, which we honestly are very close to being able to do. Oh, wow. We're also quite close to being able to take over Jacksonville, Florida, which would be a pretty good one to get my hands on, to be quite honest with you. There's not really. Oh, now I don't think I can take Tampa because we don't have trust down here, but that'd be a great one to get my hands on as well. It really would. I think Atlanta is going to be a tougher one to get into. The trust is getting there, but I think it's just going to take a little bit more time than the Philadelphia situation. Also relatively sure that at the end of this month, which is fast approaching, we might see some upgrades to Columbus. We absolutely did, which means I can go in here and I can say that I now want to get myself a support center to boost my trust. Athens, unfortunately, no. Greenville, we can get a support center in as well. Again, to sort of boost that trust. A few level ups around the place, but nothing that I think is going to do all that much for me right now. But I would be curious to see with those extra little bumps, how are we looking? 43% in here, 42% in here. Could be better. Looking up at Philadelphia, it is, oh, it's got to be close. We're at 54%. Oh, was that it? That's 56. Can I take it over? I absolutely can. Absolutely can. Okay. So they have a hotel in here. I'm not interested in a hotel. I'm interested in, it's a marketing agency for more passengers. I think I want the support center just to make sure that I maintain trust. And then I'm going to say, here's, I don't know, I'm going to give them $1 billion just to run Philadelphia and do what they want with it. Where is that water taxi going? Hold on. Where is that going? Wait a minute. No, you're not. No, you're not. Oh, it's down. Okay. No, down there's fine. Well, honestly, flying a plane down there might be better. I don't think there's that much demand for it, unfortunately, but flying a plane. Yeah, you know what? Let's not do a water taxi. That seems silly. We will just fly a plane down there because it's going to be quicker. It's going to be so much quicker. I don't know if it's going to make money, but it's going to be quicker. We'll do the Clipper and that'll be fine. It's, again, not going to make much money right off the bat, but it's just going to be better. And that's what I want. I want it to kind of make a little bit more sense than a boat. Now, you know what else is kind of cool? The fact that we are this close to getting Atlanta. We are so close to 1% more and I can have Atlanta all to myself. In fact, we're at 55% now. Can I buy them out? Not yet. Very, very close though. If I can get to 56, I guess that's when I can do it. I really have no idea. It should be possible now, but I think we're like right on the edge of 50. There's 57. It's gotta be. Absolutely. It's mine now. Okay. We're going to keep the hotel here. We are going to do another support center. We're going to upgrade Atlanta quite a bit to like level 20 so we can have a bunch of vehicles, hub manager, and just all out on automatically running Atlanta. It's going to be my new like central hub in the country. There's a lot of vehicles coming and going already, which is fine. I am hoping for good things out of Atlanta. That's going to be the goal. I'm very, very happy with this. I'm very, very happy with where we've got to here so far. We are now the highest valued company on the planet. We have the highest operating profit by quite a bit, over a factor of 3. That's pretty good. Where is my money coming from? It is not going to be from buses, on which we are losing some money. That's depressing. Trains, we're getting, oh my, I hate that I hate that train is generating so much money. That is so silly. There's a lot of them too. That is, it's kind of impressive. I hate that it's doing 13 million, but sure. Planes, we are losing quite a lot of money on that Prescott line, which is not good. You know what? Can I get rid of that guy? That seems odd that the hub manager hasn't done that. So we're just going to sell that plane. We're going to get rid of I want to say we get rid of this one as well. I mean, it's fluctuating a bit, but it's not doing great for us. What does it need to make a profit? 100 people on board. We're going to sell it for now. And I think that's fine. In terms of the top earners, London to LA, London to Toronto, London to China. That's the one that goes. We have a train that does that as well. London to San Francisco. It's all London. It is all London, because of course it is. I love that. I love that so much. We have some boats too. We have this one. Great description. This one. We have Edinburgh to Tijuana. I'm gonna say, wait, where is that going? Ain't no way. Hold on a minute. Isn't that wait a minute. Isn't Deadliest Catch in here? We're going through the Bering Sea to get to Edinburgh. That seems excessive. I'm gonna say that seems a little bit excessive. I think Edinburgh to Tijuana we can get rid of. I don't think we need that. Liverpool down to there, sure. That's fine. It's not losing that much money. I'm just really happy that we're now the most valuable company. That's kind of cool. That's really, really cool. Makes me really, really happy. I will say, I do think we're probably going to get like one more episode out of this. The next one after this one will probably be our last for a little while, at least for this run, because the game is just starting to run like complete garbage and we've basically kind of beat the game. Obviously, I would like to connect London to my setup down in Australia. I think that would be cool. I would like to connect London to as many other countries as we possibly can. I would like to get Atlanta to be a proper hub in the United States. But ultimately, we have reached the point where the game is essentially playing itself. That's kind of the main thing to take away, is that we have reached a point where I have enough money that I can just take over Atlanta, for example, and say, hey, hub manager, expand this city, do everything for me. And it's, you know, it's kind of like automation in Software Inc., right? You get to a point where it's like, hey, here's a bunch of money, game, play yourself, go to town. And that's okay. It's, you know, we're kind of, I guess, at the reaching sort of the end game of this whole thing. Obviously, we have $63 billion sitting here. So if I wanted to, I could go and buy Global Caribbean, for example, if I wanted to. We do have enough money to do that. And we absolutely, wait a minute, is Global Caribbean the one that's running LA right now? Is Global Caribbean the company that runs the majority of the United States? Is that who I've been competing against? No, it isn't. Okay. So it is still Iberian Fleet. What's the difference in their liveries? Hold on a minute. Oh, Iberian Fleet is like white and brown. Global Caribbean is that one. Okay. So if I wanted to, I could buy out Global Caribbean I would then need to, I guess, acquire all of their vehicles and all of their routes and all of their hubs. So while I would presumably lose the 56.2 billion that it would cost to purchase that company, I would assume that would add a plus 3 billion to my operating profits. Well, maybe not exactly, but along that, it might do something in that particular way. We could take China Airlines. We could take any of these other ones. I don't really know if they're worth taking over. Or we could just save up enough money to buy out Russia Transit Company. I'm not really too concerned about buying out the other companies because ultimately, as we do that, we're just going to automate things anyway. So it's not really going to do all that much for us. I think, like I said, we've kind of reached the point where the game is playing itself, and that is okay. We'll get one more good video out of this. And then I think what I might do is, actually, this is probably good timing. I'm not too sure when the update to the hub manager is coming out. I know it's coming relatively soon, at least based on when I'm recording this. It might be out by the time this video goes out, or it's coming out soon. We can come back and do this again. We can do another run in classic mode. And I know there were some people wanted to see a little bit more of the discover mode as well. So maybe when we're done with this little run with Nerdsoft Logistics, we'll go to discover mode and see if we can get through something with that. We've learned some stuff doing classic mode, but we can talk about that a little bit more in the next episode, because that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.